let's look at the new year. What is the New Year's resolution? What do I think would be a good New Year's resolution? When I do an assessment and look at my life, I think I have benefited the most from one thing that I do, and that is think strategic. Short-term thinking says, the donut tastes good, eat it. Short-term thinking says, one workout doesn't matter. I can skip it. Short-term thinking encourages you to make short-term emotional decisions that hurt you in the long run. And they definitely don't move you toward your overall strategic goals. The more short-term decisions you make, decisions that are based on that immediate gratification, the further from the path you will stray. So don't do that. Instead, think strategic, think long-term, act strategic. Take action that improves your long-term position and moves you toward your long-term goals. How do you do that? First, figure out where you want to go. Figure out who you want to be. Figure out what you are trying to do with your life. Write them down. What are you working toward? What kind of physical condition do you want to be in? What kind of relationships do you want to have? What skills are you trying to develop? You have to explain to yourself the why. Why do you want to be in that physical condition? Why do you want those relationships, or why do you want those skills? Write those things down in simple, clear, concise language. Read it before you go to bed. Read it when you wake up. Read it every day until it is embedded in your brain. Also know this: you need tactical wins. You need to win battles in order to win the war. You need to get out of bed, you need to run, you need to work out, you need to read and study and practice, and you need to do things that you don't necessarily want to do. And I know that can be hard. That's why people lose the war. That's why people never achieve their strategic goals. They lose the little tactical battles, the death of 1,000 cuts. One missed workout at a time, and then another, and then another, and it all adds up. Why? Because we don't think about the big picture. We don't see the decay from altitude. We don't see it from an elevated position. That is why, to win tactically, we have to think strategic all the time. Think strategic all the time. Now that you know what you're trying to achieve, ask yourself this question: what I am doing, what I am about to do, is it going to help me get where I am going? Is this action going to make me stronger or weaker? Is this action going to make me smarter or more skilled? Will this action move me toward the strategic long-term goals I am trying to achieve in my life? And do not lie to yourself. Don't rationalize. Don't negotiate. You have to tell yourself the truth. That is where discipline comes from. Discipline is rooted in the truth we tell ourselves, and discipline delivers long-term strategic success. Strategic thought is disciplined thought. Strategic thought allows you to make the right tactical actions to move you forward, to achieve your goals, to be who you want to be and do what you want to do. So, for 2022 and for life, think strategic. Know why you are doing what you are doing. And then get out there every day and win those small, tactical, short-term battles so you can win the strategic, long-term victory that puts you where you want to be.
And when I started studying successful people, what I realized successful people do is that they don't go with the days, they go with the hours. And if you only have 24 hours in a day and you sleep in 8 of those hours, then you only have what left? Listen to me, you only operating with 16 hours to be successful. Now, let's leave sleep alone. You slept for 8 hours, you got 16 hours left. How many of y'all talk on the phone? Right? You have talked away your success. So some of you, if you look at your day, you probably spend an hour or 2 hours on the telephone. So you only have so many hours in a day to be successful. 8 of them just went to sleep. Another 2 of them went to what? Talking on the telephone. Listen to me, that's 10 out of 24. You only got 14 left to be successful. And out of that 14, some of it you use in the cab. You was in the cab for about an hour chilling. You have less than 8 hours, some of you, to get what you need to get done. And I'm not tripping, you can use your time like you want to. But if you're only putting in 8 hours a day and you think you're gonna be successful when you get out of here, you got another thing coming.
And I think that's what this is about. All the fun and the singing and the dancing and all the play, it's okay. It's good. But all those things can be distractions. Because there is a path, there is a way. And you know what that way is. You know what you should be doing. And it's hard to stay on that path because it is the path of discipline and discomfort. But it is the right path. And you know that. And it is that path that will ultimately lead you to where you really want to be.
Now, it may be that unidimensionality is the price you have to pay to be exceptional at one thing, right? Because if you're going to be something like a genius level mathematician and you want to do that or a scientist, say, it's like you're in your lab all the time, you're working 70 hours a week or 80 hours a week, you're smart, you're dedicated, you're unidimensional, and that's how you get to beat all the other people who are doing that. It's the only way. But the problem is you don't get a life. Now, if you love being a scientist and you have that kind of focus of mind, well, first of all, you're a rare person, and second, you're going to pay for it. But fine, more power to you. But it's a risky business to do that. You sacrifice a lot for it.
Let me say something, I want to say something real quick about success. Success, whether you know it or not, is very intentional and deliberate. There has never ever been a person who blew up and was successful and it happened by chance. Not a rapper. The rappers, they spend time writing and they're in the studios. Right? We're the only ones thinking we're gonna blow up and we're not putting in no hours.
It's okay to be unbalanced for a while. It's okay. Don't be all this stuff people say, you gotta be balanced. To be the best in the world at what you do, you have to be unbalanced to find every bit of energy and strength that you have to pull it off. Then you get balanced once you become great. And it takes being obsessed to where people think you're crazy.
When you look at Michael Jackson died at 50 years old. But when Mike died at 50, he probably accomplished more than most people accomplish. Why? Because of the hours Joe Jackson had my man putting in. They was putting in hours. Michael Jackson didn't become Michael Jackson because he just knew how to moonwalk. Michael Jackson became Michael Jackson because Joe Jackson at 5, like, get your butt up. At 5 years old, get up. I want y'all dancing. The amount of time you put in every day is going to determine whether you are successful or not.
want to remind you to continue to dream and dream big. And understand that your family and friends and loved ones, in most cases, boyfriends, girlfriends, they will be the first to try and talk you out of your dreams, your visions, and ideas as to what you're supposed to do with your life. They will say, who wants you when you put on all that weight? Nobody's interested in you. Nobody's checking for you. They'll laugh at you. They'll call you names because they have no dreams. They have no hunger for success. They don't have an appetite. They don't want it. Can't help myself. I want to win.
If you really want to be successful, you gotta have a lot of dog in you. You gotta be mean sometimes, because life ain't fair. Life is hard, man. It is not fair. But life ain't fair to nobody. You just gotta fight through, man. You gotta bite back sometimes. It's like haters. When you get haters, you know, people's opinion of you is none of your business. So I don't give them no energy. I give haters no energy. So I just keep going through. But then I tell you something too, haters motivate me. Because when they talking about me, that means I'm doing something.
And what happens is we actually talk ourselves out of the things that we truly want in life because we're so overly concerned with what people might say, not with what they actually say, with what they might say, that we convince ourselves that we have all this fucking hate. And you don't. People aren't talking about you. And if they are, it's because you're doing something great. That's the fucking truth. And if you're doing something great, you really don't care if people are talking about you.
For all of you folks out there that's losing sleep, you never allow anybody to make you feel bad about being so blessed when you've worked your ass off to get it. And you can keep all your little slick ass comments to yourself. Because guess what? I don't remember the last time I lost sleep over a hater. Huh? It's not that I'm above opinions. It's not that I'm bigger, greater, or more significant than anybody. But you will never make me feel bad about being this blessed when I've worked my ass off to get here. Don't lose no sleep over these haters, man. The reason they got a problem with your life is because they don't have a life. People are talking behind your back because you left them a long time ago. They're behind you.
If you've ever had a moment in your life that you have measured yourself and come up short, if you've ever poured yourself into an individual, a company, a ministry, a place or thing, and didn't get the results you expected, if you've ever been good to somebody who wasn't good back, if you've ever given your best to somebody and they act like it wasn't nothing at all, then this one is for you.
And too many times, I let my disappointments destroy my faith. The invisible prison of disappointment keeps you from trying, keeps you from giving, keeps you from risking. So if you've been disappointed lately, this is what I want to tell you. That can either be a prison or a portal. A portal leads to something greater. A prison keeps you where you are. This is your decision to make. To come out of what you thought God was going to do, what you thought life was going to do, what you thought you were going to be. And that's the prison that keeps you from seeing how far you've actually come.
Frustration is disappointment hiding in your chest, screaming out of your belly, saying, I thought it would be better than this. I thought it would be better. By now, I thought I would be further than this. By now, I thought I would have my life together. By now, I thought I would be married. By now, I thought I would be in college. Frustration comes to what you thought. When what you thought doesn't happen, you get frustrated. Anytime you change the game, we get frustrated. What you see us screaming at the TV set about, we're screaming inside about because somebody changed the game, or changed your body, or changed your job, or change your family. We may not say anything. We may smile while we gotta smile, but inside there is a raging inferno, because we don't understand why it doesn't work like we thought it ought to be working. And you are frustrated because you thought that by now you would be further than you are. You thought that at your age you would have more than you do. You thought that at your age you would have proven who you are, and what you envisioned for yourself didn't happen, and you're angry with yourself. And when you get angry with yourself, you beat yourself. You're angry over what didn't work. You're angry over the reaction you didn't get. You're angry over what didn't happen to you as a child or as a man. And that frustration is driving you wild.
The first time we get turned away, we go home. The first person that doesn't like us, the first time it gets a little hard, many of us are so quick to see disappointment as a dead end. If there's no room for us through that door, we will climb up. Here's the word of the Lord. If you can't get in, go up. If you can't get through on this level, go up to a higher level. Sometimes the reason God allows you to be restricted is because you're at the wrong level. And sometimes He'll put a disappointment in your life, so you have to climb over it. I know some people didn't like you, didn't promote you, didn't endorse you, didn't support you, but get over it.
Sometimes life can really hijack your fucking mind. When that happens to you, you're all fucked up. Your goals, your ambitions, everything's out the fucking window. In life, we all go through different things. Sometimes your girlfriend or boyfriend breaks up with you. Guess what? Get the fuck over it. They no longer want you. Maybe you failed a test in school. You worked your ass off. Guess what? You failed the fucking test. Get over it. Move past it. Life will hijack your mind if you let it. Don't allow all these things to make you a lesser person. You must own your mind. Don't let life own yours.
It is good to be uncomfortable. I've never met anybody who was terribly creative or gifted or strong in leadership who was also comfortable. It's always those people who say, is there not a cause? Those exceptional people who are uncomfortable with the times and rise to the challenge because they refuse to allow the chaos around them to determine the conqueror within them. People who resist the toe to go down and stand fiercely in spite of opposition and say, I'm going to do it anyway. It is the chaos of the time that creates the conqueror in the man. So when God gets ready to reveal to you what you have in you, He will often place you in the midst of chaos to push you.
But during those down moments, that's where the growth takes place. That's where the work is. See, anybody can feel good when they have their health, their bills are paid, they have happy relationships. Anybody could be positive then. Anybody can have a larger vision then. Anybody can have faith under those kinds of circumstances. See, but the real challenge of growth, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, comes when you get knocked down. How you handle it, that's where the growth takes place.
It is the insecurity of the times that defines who you really are. You will not be challenged in your convenience. You will be challenged in your chaos. Opportunity comes in chaos. A chance to stand up, a chance to get it right, a chance to make a U-turn. Stand still and let the chaos run from you.
We all live in this bubble. What you gotta do to get the life that God wants you to have, you gotta put more air in your bubble. You got to blow your bubble up. Expand yourself. Take yourself out your comfort zone. Do not live in your bubble. Put some more air in your bubble. If you stay in your comfort zone, that's where you will fail. You will fail in your comfort zone. Success is not a comfortable procedure. It is a very uncomfortable thing to attempt. So you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable if you ever want to be successful. Start putting some pressure on. Put some pressure on yourself. Get out here and get about it. You got to get real doggish. You got to get downright funky if you want to make it.
I don't care how good you are, I don't care how talented you are, I don't care how much you work on yourself. There are some times when things aren't going to go right. There are times when anything that can happen will happen. Life will knock you between the eyes. It will catch you on the blind side, come out of nowhere, stuff you can't anticipate. That will knock the wind out of you. You want to give up.
What do you do when it seems like suffering won't stop? What do you do when it feels like your pain doesn't have a point?
What do you do when your battle chooses you? What do you do when something shows up on your doorstep that you did not directly cause, choose, or definitely anticipate?
There will be seasons where we will suffer. There will be seasons of real pain. And the question is, how will you respond in those moments?
When you run out of money, when things don't work out for you, when things happen that you could not anticipate, what are the reasons that you can think of that can keep you strong? If you know the why for living, you can endure almost anyhow.
Maybe you've taken a knockdown concerning your finances lately. Maybe it's with your kids, maybe with your marriage, maybe with your health, maybe some other arena of life. You're laying on the mat, gasping, and you don't know what you're gonna do.
It may be the number in your bank account that is screaming, you are broke.
You can break physically, you can break mentally, you can break your heart, you can break your spirit, and all of those are gonna leave a mark. But the mark that they leave can be the mark of victory or it can be the mark of defeat. The fight is just beginning. You have the opportunity to show the world what you are really made of.
I need you to look at that sickness that's going on in your life right now, whatever it is. I want you to say, I can beat it. I can beat it. I will beat it. I must. I got a family to live for. I ain't through yet. My life ain't over yet. There's some things in life you don't need no degree for. You don't need no money for it. There's some things in life you just gonna get through when you tell yourself, I'm gonna get through this.
And I'm not retreating. I'm not running. I don't care what they say on paper. I don't care if you say we outnumbered. We live by this and we die by this. We don't retreat.
If you would be willing to fight your way through this battle, fight your way through cancer, fight your way through that academic struggle, fight your way through divorce, fight your way through it. If you are willing to fight your way through that singing career, fight your way through boxing, fight your way through football, I'm telling you at the end of the fight is going to come victory.
I believe that this is your beginning, but this doesn't have to be your end. That just because you are currently here, this is your present circumstances, that life don't have to end for you right now.
You take those terrible events in your life and you create a new story of triumph. We gotta become something new. We take those traumas, we take that pain, and we allow it to become a part of who we want to be.
Hold on to that fundamental quality of faith. Have faith. And on the other side of your pain is something good.
People want to know where I find my strength at, where I get my strength. I get it from a lot of places, but right now, this morning, I'm getting it from, there's not a motherfucker that's up. There's not a car, there's not a person. Everybody's in their bed, sleep, dreading that it's a Monday, hate it's a Monday. And I'm loving it. I'm loving that. Where everybody's getting weaker, I'm getting stronger. It's not about the running, the swimming, the push-ups, the sit-ups. It's about what those things do for your mentality. You don't get better on the daggone couch. You get better by coming out here and getting the fuck after it every daggone day.
Champions aren't found on the podium with their hand up. No. Champions are found in the lab studies, the thousands of hours of hard work when no one's watching. That's what makes the will unstoppable. When you're in here and no one else is, and you're pushing yourself harder than anybody with no one around. No one sees the struggle in here. No one sees the hardship, the early mornings you get up. No one sees any of that. They just see if your hand's raised or not. And if it is, oh, what a great guy. Oh, I wish I could be that guy. I wish I could be that guy. But they're not clapping, wishing they could be you at 5 in the morning when you get out of bed, when it's pissing rain outside, to come and train for that hand to be raised. They don't want to be that guy. They just want the glory. And that's the differential of a champion. You know, in adversity, guys, is where you find character.
It has everything to do with what time you wake up. It has everything to do with how you eat. It has everything to do with how you work out, how you prepare. It has every single thing to do with how you think. And when you want it as bad as you want to breathe, says, I'm willing to make any sacrifice. I'm willing to go through any pain. I'm willing to go through any suffering. I'm willing to go through whatever it takes. So when I get in there and it's me and him one-on-one, that I guarantee you at the end of it, I won't be the one that surrendered. And if you're going to be the best, the cream of the crop, if you're going to be the apex, you got to be it. It has to consume you.
It's time to stay focused. It's time to decide, fuck clubs, fuck partying, fuck trying to fit in and socialize, rub elbows with everybody so people can stop calling you weird. Why are you so antisocial? Because I'm trying to get it. Why are you staying on the basketball court so much? Because I'm trying to get it. Why are you out there practicing in the hot sun when ain't nobody else out there? Because I'm trying to get it. These clubs, these parties, all this shit ain't going nowhere. The more weird you are is a reflection of how committed you are to focusing on your shit, molding and shaping and developing your ideas and your craft so that when it's time for you to make your rounds, you gon' fly. You still got work to do. Stay on that basketball court. Stay on that football field. It's grind season, homie. You do the work now. Do the work now. And all of the shit that you could ever want to do for your family, your kids, your loved ones, it's all going to be on a whole nother stratosphere. It's time to stay focused.
All of us have experienced some tragedy, and if we haven't, we will. And you can either let it destroy your life, or you can build upon it. You can permit it to let it hold you down, or you can decide, I'm not going to let that happen to me. I'm bigger than this.
Don't believe the crushing that you're in as if it is your final residence or place of abode. You may have to live there for a little while, but borrow it. Don't buy it, because you will rise again. Don't own that pain, don't own that suffering, don't own that agony, don't own that grave, don't own that depression, don't own that suicide, don't own that loneliness. Rent it if you must, but don't own it.
It's hard. It's hard changing your life. There are moments when you're going to doubt yourself. It takes a lot of guts to get up. It takes guts, ladies and gentlemen. No guts, no glory.
And it doesn't matter how you get knocked down in life, because that's going to happen. All that matters is that you got to get up.
Despite the circumstance, you can win. Despite the adversity, you can win. Despite the situation, you can win. Despite how much money you got in your bank, you can win. You can pull it off.
You can decide that you're going to change, that you're going to stand up to life. I got me here, I can get me out of this. And I'm getting out. You can decide, I'm going to work on myself and develop myself. I'm going to empower me.
It's going to be a dogfight. I would love to tell you that on the road to success, everything is going to work out. It's not. It's a dogfight. It's hard. But I've made up in my mind that I will get a reward for the pain that I go through.
I will not stop in the middle of the process. I will not be defeated. I will not be destroyed. I will take everything that happens in my life and I will allow the pain to push me to greatness. You will not break me. You will not stop me. The only way I lose is if I quit.
And so I say to you, it's possible you can live your dream. If it's becoming a diamond, if it's having more, it's achieving more, it's possible you can live your dream. It's necessary that you have a plan of action, that you're resilient, that you stick to, that you have the vision and never give it up, that you become creative and relentless and keep on coming back again and again and again, and that it's you that you got to take personal responsibility to make it happen. And when life knocks you down, jump back up and say, it's not over until I win.
You have to know that this thing is going to work. Come hell or high water, whatever it is that I set out to do, it may not happen in 6 months, it may not happen in a year, but at some point, my dream is going to become a reality.
I'm not going to settle for this. This is not going to be it for my life. I deserve more than this.
You have to remind yourself of how badass you really are. You take 1 second when your mind and your body are saying, we're done. We need to quit. You gotta remind yourself, hang on a second. I've overcome a hell of a lot more than this. And I have the strength to persevere, to move on, to not settle for what's in front of me.
The night is darkest just before the dawn. And I promise you, the dawn is coming.